Hello and welcome to all the members of the GBCVB. This is a very tough time for all of us. And even if we went through September 11th, this is something completely just unimaginable. A number of people are doing Zoom meetings now, both hosting and attending. So I thought I would put together a brief tutorial on how to do both attend and host a meeting. In case this is something that you are needing to do. There's a lot of tutorials out there. I'm not saying this is the best one, but I just thought I would do something that could be possibly helpful for our community. All right, so if you are, I'm going to do first of all if you're hosting a Zoom meeting, and then I'll go into the attendee part of it. So when you're hosting one, you will have a Zoom account. I will move myself to this other corner. Okay, so you will be when you go into a Zoom account, there are two options you have. You have the option for meetings and you have the option for a webinar. If you are doing a lecture, a speech, kind of as if you were attending a conference and you've got a speaker, you would pick a webinar. If you're wanting something that is more interactive and community building, such as an open house or such as a team meeting, you would pick meeting. On Tuesdays, I am hosting virtual cafes, and I am doing them on Zoom. So you see here my invitation for the virtual cafe. I am doing them for the foreseeable future. I will be hopefully ending them, but at some point, this is just what we are doing right now. So what I will do is I create the whole, I write the invitation, pick the time, people can add it to their calendar, and then that meeting series will have one ID. So I'm letting people sign up for all of them. I do require that people register before they are joining the meeting. And I do this for a couple of reasons. The reason I do this is that I want to be sure people who are joining the meeting actually have registered. There's been some issues called Zoom bombing, where people are jumping into Zooms that they have not been invited in. So as a host, you want to be careful about, giving your Zoom meeting access any way than you would want somebody walking into, your company's team meeting and having a stranger drop in on that. You don't want to have that situation. You also want to X out, enable joining before the host. So it's up to the host to start the meeting. Mute people on entry, it depends on the size. When I'm doing smaller groups, I'm not worrying about muting everybody when they come in. If someone's noisy and they're making a smoothie or yelling at their kids, I'm going to hope that they will put themselves on mute, but I want to empower them to do that. I do enable the waiting room you see here. So ahead of my events, people will be actually kind of hanging out in the foyer before they come in. Authenticated users means they have to actually have a Zoom account. I am not requiring that as a host. And I'm not recording the meetings automatically. And then you'll see down here registration. I have 63 people who are attending my next virtual cafe. Right now it's an automatic approval situation. I may change that if that gets to be problematic or that is something that you could change. Branding, you see I put my logo up here. And so when you will see an invitation I have for ex-Midwesterners that I've created, we're going to be doing a happy hour. And so the virtual gathering of the ex-Midwesterners, and I put a picture of the Midwest. So that is something that you can use this space. I put my logo at the top, meeting registration. And so those are a few things that I have added to my Zoom. You can actually, if you're a host, you can come up with a poll. How are you holding up? Yes, no. You could do, are you an introvert, extrovert? You could say, kids, pets, you could do, should we all go have a beer, which we're not going to do for a while, but you get what I'm saying. You can have a poll on that. So that is about hosting a meeting. So when you want to have a meeting, I can have a meeting on the fly because I own an account. And so I'm going to just show you very quickly what that's like. So I will open up a meeting, and this is what will happen also if you're an attendee. You will get this link and you will then join this, you will join the meeting. I understand why that's there. I apologize. I'm gonna move it over here in the corner. Hopefully that, okay, so when you have this picture here on a Zoom, you will see that I can mute myself, and now you will not be able to hear me. I unmuted myself, and now you can hear me. I can take off the video, and I have a picture set up with Zoom, so that is what people would see if I am not on video. As the host, I can also send, I get a text message and somebody didn't get the information. This is a host thing. I can go ahead and copy the URL and send them that by email or whatever it might be, or I can send them the whole invitation. Manage participants. This is where onto the side, this would be the waiting room for people. These are voting tabs here for people who want to do some voting. So there's a few little bells and whistles. You'll also see, if there were more people on here, you would see gallery view. I have it set up here at the top for me, gallery view or speaker view. Gallery view has been nicknamed the Brady Bunch view. You will also see here as a host, this is where you can add in the polls, add some questions. You can do that on the fly. If I want to share my screen, this is also where we're seeing some Zoom bombing issues of people that are happening. And so this is where you want to be a little careful about when the settings are set up. Zoom, the default is anybody who's attending the meeting can share their screen. This is where people are sharing porn, and there's some ugly things. So just be very careful about that if you're hosting a bigger meeting that you do not want people to share. If you do have someone to share, you can decide what you share. You can share the whiteboard. You can add in phones. I could share just my this one window. I could share my Safari window. I could share whatever I have open on my computer. I can share those windows accordingly. With the whiteboard, if I decided to share that, we could start drawing on a whiteboard and brainstorm along those lines. I think this might be a little bit more than people are going to need to know, but that's it. Chat. This is where you can chat with other people at the event, and this is a very handy tool. You can send a private message. Be sure it is a private message. As the host, you can record. Again, be sure people know about that ahead of time. When you hit the record button, you can pick cloud or your computer. These files get very big. I would encourage you to pick cloud. Closed caption, you can have that set up. Somebody will type if that's something you need, and you can live stream. Breakout rooms is something that you can have. I have that. It's a paid option, I believe. And so I will be using this for my ex-Midwesterners. We'll be breaking out by our area of the Midwest. And so that is a couple of different things that you can do when you are both attending and hosting on that side of things. Okay, I will exit out of this. We will leave the meeting, end it for all. Okay. And a couple people cancel. Okay. So this is where you can then afterwards, I'm not going to show it because of the registrant. I can send an email to everybody who attended. This is the branding part, and I hope that is all been helpful to you.